Here we are again, once again.
Yes.
2 to 3 times a week. All right, today we're going to talk about if you deleted holidays from your calendar, how would your life be different? That's the main thing. So
That's a strong question, Jake. That's a strong question because I know a lot of people. When we say holidays, we're not talking just Christmas, just whatever New Year's. We're talking
Valentine's
birthdays. We're talking
really any event that is
any
predictable.
event. I would even say any event that technically takes people off of work or something, you know?
Yeah, that's usually they get a day off that's approved by the world or whatever it might be.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, first off, how's it going?
It's going, Jake. Look, every single day I work on my mind. And the easiest way to describe what working on the mind means is basically I'm putting on mental armor. I'll call it mental armor. And sometimes that armor is banged up and heavy and hard to put on. And so I've had a rough few weeks mentally because of the external inputs. And so external inputs have changed my inner state. My inner state used to be stronger than my external state. And I am currently in a tussle with the external state and my internal state. So I'm here.
Sounds challenging.
It is. It's not fun. It is not fun sometimes, That's for another topic, another day, which I'm sure will line right up.
Yeah.
But anyway, how are you doing?
Well, things are sounds better. It feels weird following that up. I know sorry. It's a challenge. It's fine. I'm good. I'm just sort of like out of routine in general because of holidays, which is what we'll talk about here a little bit. But yeah, we just drove back from DC yesterday and it's snowing and cold. And I'm trying to move past that weird week between Christmas and New Year's and pretend like today's a normal day, which is, it all very lines up with this topic we're about to talk about. So that's how I'm doing. Everything's good, all things considered.
Good. All right. Well, look, this is the stream number 6, live stream number 6 that we've been doing. It's about the show. It's a show called Breakthroughs, how to get the breakthrough before something breaks you. So really what this is about, it's going to be about things in life that have, we'll call it, created mental tension, emotional tension, whatever it is, things that are normal. They're just normal things. But what we have found personally is that some of these tensions can build up to a point that create a breakdown of any kind, whether it's physical, mental, whatever it is, emotional. And so the idea of this show is we talk about these things so that we can help people get the breakthrough before the break happens to them. My situation was stage 4 lung cancer 3.5 years ago, still dealing with it. And the tension and the things I need there are obviously still very real. And then Jake had 3 strokes at the age of 31 and had to, both of these things we think could have been prevented, had we had different, a few different things.
I think the main thing is a lot of this builds up in the background and you can't tell it's happening, Yeah. And
it's automation.
Especially when you go to, a lot of times you go to the doctor and you're like, I don't know how this happened. And they don't know how it happened because it's not like in a textbook that you can study necessarily. Yeah. I know we're just talking about the intro right now, but we kind of had to do this early on in these live streams because it's new to everybody. But after doing these live streams, this is the 6th one. And there were, I believe, since then, I have learned about 2 or 3 people who have had serious things happen to them in the last maybe years, a couple of years, or even recently, as of last week. Mm-hmm. And these people, otherwise speaking, were healthy individuals. Everything was great. And I'm like, God, it just happens. And it happens differently for everybody, but it happens. And all I keep thinking about is, was there something building up internally that just kind of broke one day? And how it breaks looks different for everybody. But that's really what this live stream is about, is taking one of these little problems and kind of breaking it down to see like what could be a fix before something bad happens, you know?
Mm-hmm. So yeah. you gave the headline and the hook, which was basically like, if we deleted holidays, how would your life be different?
Yeah.
So this is your topic, so I'm going to hand this.
Yeah. So I was like, I've actually thought about this for a couple of weeks, and it's an interesting topic. A lot of what we want to do is take what we call micro problems, for lack of a better term. And this is not really, it can be a problem. It's more of a signal than like a problem. So sometimes, and I've struggled with this for a long time. In my mind, there are two buckets of people when it comes to holidays on your calendar or events. It could be a birthday. It could just be the weekends. And for some people, they might just really love those things. Like I love, Christmas time. I like spending time with my family. I like, the lights and the whole atmosphere and all that stuff. But then I realize there's another set of people where like they almost need these things to occur for them to feel good again. So what I wanted to break down today is essentially why, or like what it means if we use holidays and weekends as a crutch to feel excited about something. And like, what does that mean for your life? A better way to put it is the question we asked at the beginning, which is, if you deleted, just think for a second, put yourself in this space. It is January 2nd. If you deleted all of the holidays and birthdays and predictable events from your calendar, how would your life be different? So I guess the first thing to do is kind of talk about like, what does this look like for a normal person? Like, how does this show up?
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I think about when you ask that question, like, how would your life be different? It's actually in my head based on what you're saying. If you ask that question, if someone's only looking forward to holidays or birthdays or whatever, right, the time in between, I can't wait for this, I can't wait for that. There's nothing wrong with anticipating these fun things.
Right.
But if that's like actually, I think about it, I can't wait for the football game on Sunday, right? Like the same concept. I can't wait for these external events to make me feel differently. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, if you take all those things away, if you take them all away, how would your life be different? It actually would be less different in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's more of monotony.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I like the football analogy is good too. It's a recurring event that you can predict. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that, we'll probably talk about in a little bit, but a lot of like holidays are not something you create. It's something that's already there from an external source. Mm-hmm. And so really what we're asking is, if you're waiting for other things to make you excited, then, for some people, they love how everything's going. And like, they're like, oh no, I love my life. I love my career. I love my relationships. I love all these things. And so like my life would be probably pretty good. I like holidays. I would like them back, but whereas other people, it's almost like they would face the lack of novelty. They would face the monotony, and that monotony for many is not something they look forward to. Maybe they don't like their career, or they struggle with their relationships, or, they don't really have a direction, or there's just not a lot of novelty. And so they're just like, what do I fill my time with is sort of what happens.
Well, it comes back to kind of what I said about, what I was going through just recently. It's like you're relying on the external inputs to create an internal change, right? You're waiting for the football game on Sunday. You're waiting for the Christmas time. You're waiting, you're anticipating. Again, nothing wrong with that as long as your internal state's great. But if it's the external input that's creating, right?
It's giving you relief. That's what I mean by like the word crutch. Like it feels like, thank God this exists so that I can look forward to this thing. Mm-hmm. And, it feels like I imagine like a visual person, and I like, if the holidays were just like, the events on your calendar, like your life is like this, and then peaks, it comes out to a holiday, and then it comes right back down, and then you go down and you peak, and then you come back down, and it's like these waves throughout the year. And so what we're asking is like, yeah, remove the peaks, and like if your life is like this and you're not satisfied with it, some people completely are, and that's great,
right?
But if you have these peaks don't exist, then you're just sort of, I don't know, a flat plateau of some kind.
Actually, that's now you say it, that's why I like doing this, because like now as we discuss these things, like we start and we're like, oh, here's a topic, and then I'm like, oh shit, that's a different way to think about it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's true, right? If you remove the peaks, the holiday peaks or the football game peaks, whatever, and then you got that straight line across, there's no peaks. Are you happy with that straight line, or are you not?
Yeah.
Right. Like, because there's people out there who are completely happy with the straight line. So the question then becomes, who are the people and what are they doing differently that are happy with the straight line versus the people who, if you remove the peaks, are not happy with that straight line?
Okay. I mean, this is why we talk about it, because I'm like, oh, there's another thing that hearing you say that, we just talked about this in the intro. Like what we're trying to prevent is this unseen buildup of mental stress, right? That you can't really put a finger on. And then one day it breaks. And when you did it back to me, when you're like, if there's no peaks, my question then is, are you somebody, like if those peaks didn't exist, or I guess what I'm asking is, are those peaks actually helping you mask the real problem? You know what I mean? Like, thank God for those holidays, because I can kind of like detach from the thing that is underlying current that I don't really like. But, you know, Christmas or a birthday or Valentine's Day or whatever day it is gives me a reprieve from dealing with that current that I'm not really satisfied with, you know?
Yeah.
And like, it's almost like a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid to fix something. And the problem is it doesn't really fix it. It's a Band-Aid. It's a mask. And so like, I almost fear that if you are a type of person who's like, I need holidays, I need birthdays, I need these things, that is actually, what I'm basically saying is look deep, because if you need those things to feel better, then I'm almost like a little concerned, because that means there might be this underlying current that's building and building and building, right? Is that Letty?
Yes, that's the dogs getting after it. Stacy's not here, so we're just gonna.
Yeah.
They're cool though. They bark for a second. Sorry guys,
it's a live stream.
We're not in a studio.
Yeah,
it's real.
This is actually what I love about live streams. Is like, I don't know, if it happens, it happens. It's live.
Well, actually, let's a side tangent. Tangent. I read this this Twitter thread from one of the top software engineers in the world, who kind of says, here's what's coming with AI. And it's basically humans are going to start to predict what is AI and what is not AI, right? Or they're going to start seeing it. And so advertising and like digital advertising and regular advertising, the more imperfection in the advertising, the better you're going to perform. And I was like, well, these live streams are great, because I don't know, we're not in a studio. I got maybe a mic to make it sound good. But I'm in a crappy little room right now. Got a roof over my head, but it's not exactly a studio.
Yeah. And you can't just edit out things that you're like, that shouldn't have happened.
Shit. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. Tangent's done.
No, that's a good tangent. I'm sure it'll come up again. There's gonna be a lot of live stream tangents, because we're like, I think it's because we're used to doing things that are produced, right? Like podcasts or like the show that we make and all this stuff, where you can get it the way you want it. And we're like, this is just real life. Anyway, so I guess let's talk about like how this shows up. Like, do you have any stories of how this might appear?
Yeah. So before I get to that story, I want to go back. I want to go back and revisit the lines. Okay. So let's say your line is just, in life, it's just a straight line across. You just operate every day, and you have peaks, and obviously there's some valleys. But if we constantly look for the external peaks, right, holidays, etc., right, like, how is that changing the rest of your line, right? So how does your life look different if there are no external peaks? And what are people who, if people who have their holidays removed and they just have that straight line, but they're happy with the straight line, what are they doing differently, right? That's kind of what we're getting at. And I think about my anecdotes. The thing I used to do, and I'm not going to say it's just being real. On my birthday years ago, I would actually drive down to Skid Row in Los Angeles. It's considered, it's one of the most it's just homelessness and like drug addiction, all this stuff. I mean, if you've heard of Skid Row, right, you know that it's not a great place. And I used to go down there and volunteer at the homeless shelters because on my birthday, literally at 5 a.m., I always did the 5 a.m. shift on my birthday. And I did it, yes, to help people, but I actually did it for myself. Like, I'm being honest, and I was always honest about it. I'm doing it for myself because I'm going to go give back on my birthday so I feel better about myself, because I know that later in the day I'll get some messages and whatnot that make me feel good about me. So I used to do that because I was like, I want to make myself feel even better on my birthday by helping others. But it was a selfish move. It had nothing to do with like me wanting to just be a good person. I mean, I did, but it was actually so I felt better, even better on my birthday. And I would look forward to that.
Yeah. And I mean, that is probably even another live stream. But like, I don't think anybody does anything without some sort of self-interest. Like, I don't know a person who gives to people and doesn't feel good when they give to people. Mm-hmm. Like, we literally do that because it satisfies us, and we're like, man, I like helping people. It makes me feel good to help people. Like, if it doesn't make you feel good, then you don't do it. Like, anyway, that's a whole different live stream. Yeah. But I think about that because I remember when you were doing that and you were going there, and I remember the place that, I don't know, whoever manages or organizes you volunteering there, they told you, hey, or I don't know what they said, but they basically said everyone always volunteers basically on Christmas Day. I remember as a kid, or Thanksgiving, right? Like, all the families would show up and volunteer on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving or some holiday. Mm-hmm. Because it's like this thing that you focus on, right? This like moment in time, like this is this Christmas spirit or any holiday spirit, really. It's time to like treat people well and give back. And they told you that you're like, if everybody showed up on their birthday, it would help us immensely because birthdays happen every day of the year, not just like one time.
That's right.
And I was like, it's just an example of people changing who they are in this very specific moment on a calendar and then returning back to what they were doing before afterwards. And I always struggled, this parlays into like this Christmas spirit thing. I always struggle with this. I was like, I would get mad at these like stories about like, it's maybe December 22nd or something. Like, it's like holiday spirit season, right? Anywhere between November and December. And people are like treating people different. Like, oh, they're giving back and they're helping this elderly woman, like they're shoveling her sidewalk because it's Christmas. I was like, you can shovel her sidewalk on like February 2nd too.
Yeah.
And it would bother me immensely that I was like, why is it only we act like better humans, or we are more like we want to be during these periods of time, and then when it disappears, it disappears. And then the last part of that phrase is like, yesterday was January 1st. I used to set resolutions and goals and things like that. And I would get frustrated. I think I just posted this like 2 years ago. I was like, just a reminder, you can set a resolution on June 2nd. Like, you don't need to wait for this time period to like change something about what you want to do. I don't know.
Yeah. So it comes back to the question is, why does this happen? Why is it so timing based? Right? Why is these fluctuations in how we feel, right, so timing based? And it's timing on holidays, on whatever. You can totally be nice to somebody. You can be in the Christmas spirit, like you said, maybe in July. Why aren't you in the Christmas spirit in July? Why aren't you in like, why wasn't I in the going to the homeless shelter outside of my birthday? Like, or, why does it have to be these things? Now, actually, it does make sense. Like, if everybody went on their birthday, it would actually help. But my point is, it was always timing based, right? I don't know. Yeah. So why is that? Why? That's the real question, because it's like some people do have that. and many others don't. And I would say many. I'm not even saying it's like 50-50. I'm saying like it's many people. I know based on things I've gotten, all sorts of stuff. I know many people. I would call it an 80-20 rule. 20% are super happy. And if you take away their holidays, take away their sports games, you take away all those things, they're still pretty happy. They're still operating pretty well. And then 80%, you take away the peaks, and all of a sudden they're like, this monotony is driving me insane. What is
I actually, the way that's presented, I'm thinking about the type of people who are like, I will be okay. Like, if you take the holidays away, I will figure it out. Like, that's sort of how I imagine them to be. Because, like, sure, again, I like holidays, I like birthdays and things like that. But, like, there is a sense of, if it doesn't exist, I will create something that I'm looking forward to. I will create novelty. If you've taken them all away, I will figure out how to make my life feel that way, even without holidays. Okay, just create your own holiday, like you, or change something about your life that like I don't need to look forward to those things. It's just a good thought exercise. Like, if Christmas disappeared for 1 year, and you knew that, and December 1st comes up, and you know Christmas or Hanukkah or any other holiday at the end of the year doesn't exist that year, what would you do? Would you be like, oh God, like this month feels like, May or some other month where like I don't really like what's going on? Or would you be like, let's make something out of nothing? Like let's create something to be excited about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
well, take away the NFL season for a fall.
Oh my God, yeah. And it's so funny. Like, we talk about NFL, and it's just because it's happening right now, right? And like Sunday's another game. Yeah. And like, I didn't care about NFL when I was growing up. I had so much stuff going on. I was like excited about a lot of other things, I think. And then all of a sudden, I like remember the switch. I think it was after college, and I had this void, which we can talk about too. When you get through this big era of your life, or this big moment, even a holiday, and then after that, it's just like, oh God, like there's all this time and space, and I don't actually know what to do with the time and space. And I remember I started randomly watching like Cleveland's NFL games, and I was like, I didn't really do that growing up as much. Like, yeah, I liked them, but I didn't know when Sunday was, like I didn't think about it. And then all of a sudden, it became this thing that I could be like get excited about each week, because it's probably because I didn't know what to get excited about at the time. I think a lot of this is if you lack that direction, or like this utility of like, what am I purpose, for lack of a better term, like what am I doing time?
Yeah, I would say the mission, because if you're on a mission, dude, you get shit done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if your mission is to go, back in the day, like to sail your boat from, Spain to South America or whatever, right? Like they did. That's the mission. There's no purpose might be to get gold or to find new land or whatever they did, but the mission was to get there.
Yeah. I mean, this actually is good, because I'm thinking about how I really think this is the real issue. And myself included, because I feel this all the time. I used to feel, December 26th was always like the most depressing day of the year, right? Like, because it was like, the whole year comes up, and then it's like a cliff, and it just is a void, and you're like, okay, but now what? Same thing happens. We did Supply Run, and like it was such a massive mission, not just the thing itself, but like building it, like getting it to become a real show was so difficult. But it was very much like when I say utility, there's like usefulness. Like I know I wake up every day and like, this is what I got to go do. And then the moment it was done, we were like, high five each other. We did it. And then we completed the mission on the show, and then the mission of making the show. There's 2 missions happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, okay, but like, what do we do now? What's the next thing? So I think about that in terms of holidays, in a way, are like mini mission, might not be the right word, but they're this thing to focus on and say, oh, it's December, or it's the day after Thanksgiving. It's time to go put up my holiday lights. Like it gives you something to like focus on and say, it is now my goal. We got to do all the cooking. We got to make you got to make all these things to make this holiday a certain way. And it's stressful for some people because they're working towards this goal. It becomes a goal to focus on. And then it disappears. You go back down to this line and you look for like, what is the next peak, the next goal that I got to focus on? And when it gets closer, you get this animated, like the mood shifts because like everybody's like focusing on this new thing. And so that's the question is, if those things didn't exist, do you have a mission? And here's the thing. I think a lot of people, again, they could be happy without like having this ambitious, like, what is my life goal,
Totally.
right?
The mission might be just take care of the family.
So it might be people just like us, because I know we both have an ambitious mindset, and we're like, what are we doing with our time here on planet Earth? Because we also have, you know, when you get close to death, you think about this at 1,000-fold, right? And so it becomes more, you become more attuned and aware of this feeling. And so for people like us, and I guess that's really what this live stream is for, people like that, and they don't know, and they are like looking forward to these peaks. You know, it's essentially it's probably a lack of direction. It's a lack of like, what do I do without holidays, you know?
Like I'm going to say this, 2 most important days in your life. Jake, do you know the 2 most important days? I think I've said it to you before. I think I've asked you. Do you know the 2 most important days in your life?
I know what Dad used to tell us. The day you were born, the day you find out why. That's
it.
Yes.
That's it. Think about it, man. You're born. And then when you find out why you're born, you got to do something it doesn't have to be monumental, right? But you gotta know what you're doing, why you're here.
Yeah.
Right. And it could be as, like I said, taking care and raising amazing kids. It could be like just being the best at X, whatever it is. But you got to know why. Otherwise you're just gonna go on that line, and you're waiting for the peaks of holidays to just, again, it comes back to what I said at the beginning. The external inputs. You're either trying to deflect external inputs, or you're trying to bring in external inputs to change your state of being. Right? But if your inner state is bigger than the external, then you probably don't need any holidays.
Right.
You don't need any of that stuff, you know? Anyway.
Yeah. No, this is good. I'm realizing this whole live stream about this is the little breakthrough that I just had, right? Like, really, what's the hook of this? What's this topic, right? Like, what is the topic?
We have no idea if we're giving other people breakthroughs, but we're giving them ourselves.
Hey, if someone wants to let us know what they're struggling with, that's what we're here for. But we're, you know, until then, we got to do our own stuff. But that question, if we delete holidays from the calendar, what would you actually look forward to? And I think, you know, in the beginning of this live stream, it was like, I guess it was too much focus on like this narrow view of like holidays are not holidays. And now I'm realizing if you look forward to holidays and you feel worse when they don't exist, really what we're saying is there's this lack of purpose. Like the holiday, not purpose, the why. I mean, it is the why, right? Like,
like yes, purpose.
For
is
people,
just such a
that's important too, right? For people, that's important too. It basically is a signal or a sign that you are struggling with. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. So if holidays help you mask the not knowing why, is what I realized. So really, so how do you solve that, right? And again, it's for a certain type of person who, like, a lot of people, like, their why is very simple. Like, I live every day and I'm do this thing and I take care of my kids, or I'm going to be the best friends to all of my friends. And that's great. But for a certain type of person where they're like, I need something, I want to leave an impact on my time here on planet Earth. Like that type of person, this is a bigger micro problem. Like this was my micro problem and probably your micro problem. And then I think it took until, I don't know, a year ago or probably after Supply Room, we're like, I think we kind of know the why. It was never travel. We used to talk about travel stuff a lot. It never fit.
Never was.
Like, it's not really was. And so then the question is, how do you, so if you're that type of person, that was a big caveat. If you're that type of person who's like, I want to find whatever the why I was born here sort of mentality, how do you do that? And I think about how I think we had started about 20 different projects since about 2011, thinking it was the why, We had the YouTube channel, we did the motor, we did all these other things, Uncharted Spirits. We were like, and it was literally just us creating without knowing how it would turn out. And it comes back to the same thing we talk about on every live stream, which is if you don't know, if you kind of feel like you're drifting out there, there is no answer. There's no blueprint to find the why. It is literally the agency required to act without knowing how it's going to turn out. And then you just keep doing it and eventually it'll appear. I don't know.
I mean, if I think back to our first ever filming of anything, it's laughable because we thought we were going to be these travel people. And then we found out later as time went by, it's more important. The supply run concept was more important for the individual. Like we didn't want to be Rick Steves, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we were like, there's got to be something more. We know that travel does something to somebody, but we only figure that out through doing.
As I mean, right. We should have a whole live stream on the shit pipe, the Ed Sheeran shit pipe.
Yeah.
But that's essentially what it is like there is no every book that says just read this book and find out your purpose. You're like, no, like that's the author's purpose, right? The author's purpose was for you to get this book. And like in reality, it is F around and find out, right? And like that was like I literally think about the last 15 to 20 years, and it was just effing around and finding out the whole time. And literally, I think only in the last year or two is when we're like, that's what it is.
There it is.
Right?
Nailed it. Yeah. Look, we've done 4 of these live streams, Jake. And I was like, when we started, I was like, what the hell are we even doing, man? And as we've done each one, I don't care if 0 people show up. Like, this is exactly why Supply Run exists. This is exactly why we're doing it, because I guess that's a good segue because we're already at 32 minutes and we're trying to keep them. But like, Supply Run exists so that we can, I mean, I don't even know how to tie it to this one because this was our holiday in some way. We looked forward to this. And then we went into a funk and we're like, shoot, what are we going to do now? Right?
Yeah. I mean, these live streams this is what's fun. Like without holidays, we do these live streams. We are working on something every day that fulfills that scratches that itch of like our purpose or our why, or like, why are we doing all this stuff?
So let me stop you there because this is the perfect insert for the anecdote, the second anecdote on my side.
Yeah.
Which is the first one was I went and volunteered at Skid Row homeless shelters to feel good about myself on my birthday. This time, I was asked like, what do you want to do on your birthday this year? Which was like a couple weeks ago. And I literally was like, doesn't matter. I like what I do every day. I just want to do the same thing I do every day. And I had never said that in my entire life. Right?
You wanted more of the same.
I wanted more of the same shit. I kept it straight lined. I didn't peak it. Normally I was just like, you know what? I just want same shit. Because the internal side of me was I was satisfied. Anyway, because we are doing this.
Right. Like I feel in the same vein, the last 2 birthdays ago, I almost didn't. I was in a different country and I didn't tell anybody when my birthday was because I actually realized I know what I want to do and I know what other people like when you celebrate a birthday. And like I'm not saying it's like I want to hang out with people, but I did hang out with people. I just didn't tell them it was my birthday. And I like did things I wanted to do because my fear was when people know they want it to be a certain thing. And like I love celebration. They want to celebrate, and I appreciate that.
It's
obviously.
Fun. It's awesome,
and it's great. But I was like, but that's not actually what I want to do. That feels like an interruption to what I like doing already, and it almost feels like now I'm like worried about my birthday. Like I don't want to be like, oh, I got to go show up this thing, and then I got to like be this certain way, and I got to do all these things because it's like a celebration. And I was like, I just want to do what I'm already doing. So, and at the time we didn't even have these live streams. It wasn't even like a why. It was just like, I kind of just knew what I was like, this makes me feel good and I want more of it. Yeah. So,
so people are like, well, how do I find the thing that makes me feel good that I want more of? Look, I'm not going to lie. Like it took us 15 years.
Yeah.
But we knew the direction we wanted to go for a long time. Yes. We just didn't know how it was going to turn out. But the reason we knew a general direction, and we did all the things you're supposed to do, specific goals and all that stuff. Yeah. And we did it. But all the data, all the new information that came in kept us pivoting all the time until the big one hit us, both of us. And I was like, shit, your life's got to be different.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way. I guess like a summary would be point it in a direction. Like what, that was it. We didn't know for sure. We thought it was one thing. It changed like 15 times, but it was all in the same direction. So you just aim in a direction. You're like, I don't know if it's going to work out. And then the gap is, are you just going to think, are you going to wait until you know for sure it's your why before you do anything about it? Because newsflash, you'll never really know, right? Like it's never like that. I wish it was that obvious. Some people, I guess, like a rare.
Some people do get that.
That's they're nice. Like 17 years old and they know exactly what they're doing for the rest of their life. Yeah. Like, God, that's a dream, but that's not most people.
Right.
But so if that's not you, which is most people, you point in a direction and you like that's sort of that agency element. You gotta try shit when you know that it's not exactly, you might not know it's exactly right. And I used to struggle with that. You used to struggle with that. I didn't want to tell people I was doing something new because it was so many new things I was trying. Yeah. Like, oh, another new thing. But I was like, in reality, like that's what had to occur because we do not get to here without trying 20 different things prior.
Yeah. And there's definitely another topic we'll do at another time. I won't go deep on it. It's just about why couldn't we find this sooner? You know, and that's a struggle I have, and I have to continue to change the external state or the internal state to not think that way.
Yeah.
So we'll cover that some other time, but it definitely is not fun sometimes.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess to wrap this up, well, I'm going to ask this question one more time. So if you have an answer to your, for this, leave a comment wherever you're streaming this or viewing it. If we deleted holidays from the calendar, what would you actually look forward to? Or I guess you'd say, if holidays didn't exist in your calendar, how would your life be different? Right?
And a holiday could be Christmas. It could be New Year's. It could be
a birthday.
Could be a birthday. It could be July 4th. It could be a football game on Sunday. Because
it can be weekends, right? Like a weekend. Yeah. Sorry, I was just saying a weekend is a holiday from the week for a lot of people, right?
Right.
So there's that. Leave a comment if you have a different struggle that we haven't touched on in the last 6 streams. Please let us know, and we'd love to break it down for you. If you're interested in what Supply Run is or want to view it, go to supplyrunshow.com. You can also apply to be a courier on Supply Run. And if you don't know what that means, you can go there as well and find out. Supplyrunshow.com. It's also in the description. I think that's it. Big gulps, huh? It was first. Hold on.
Well,
big gulps, huh?
Well, see you later.
There we go. All right.